What's up, y'all? It's Jay Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's boxing talk. Over the past weekend, the biggest fight of the year of 2016, Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev, turned out to be one of the best fights in the light heavyweight division that we've seen in a very long time. It was a classic matchup between two of the best fighters at 175 pounds facing each other, undefeated, world champions, in a much anticipated fight, and they did not disappoint. It was a fight that was very hyped up for boxing fans all over, and this was an instant classic. From the beginning of the fight, we saw Sergey Kovalev as a very strong fighter in that ring, the bigger man, landing a beautiful, powerful jab that kept on snapping the head back of Andre Ward. I basically had him winning the first 4 rounds of the fight. In the first 5 rounds, I saw him dominating and also in cruise control for those first 4 rounds. And he was up in the fight early when he scored a massive right hand right on the button to Andre Ward. And Ward went down. He was hurt. He was in big trouble. And it looked like it was the end for Andre Ward.
Winning this round on aggression so far, but wonderful shot from Kovalev. Beautiful counter. Down goes Ward. Second time in his life. 35 seconds left of the round. He smiles, and it was a sweet, snappy shot from Sergey Kovalev. And there's the power. And Ward has got to try and get through to the end of this round and back to his corner and regroup.
But this man you have to give a lot of credit to. He was able to dust himself off and get back into this fight. He showed the heart of a true champion, of a guy that has fought at this level before, a very experienced fighter with excellent and exceptional skills. He was able to climb back into this fight and started to use his jab in the second half of this fight and started to out-jab Sergey Kovalev, and also went to the body with a few good shots that looked like they started to slow Sergey Kovalev in the second half of this fight. Because after the 5th round, we saw Kovalev punch output dropping. This was a very close fight that could have went either way. But as the fight continued to go on, Andre Ward looked the better of the two. I gave him 3 of the last 4 rounds to close out the show very strongly. By the 12th round, Andre Ward looked like he had figured out Sergey Kovalev in there. If you look at the punch stats in this fight, Andre Ward outlanded Sergey Kovalev in 6 of the 12 rounds by just 1 punch. If Andre Ward landed 11 punches, Sergey Kovalev landed 10. So it comes down to, who did you like more? Did you like Sergey Kovalev's aggression more, who was backing up Andre Ward for most of the fight? Did you like Andre Ward's technical skills, that he was able to climb back into this fight and be able to land his punches and also box very well against Sergey Kovalev? We saw that Kovalev tried to box Andre Ward, and he had some success early, but then he fell into the traps of Andre Ward once Ward was able to figure him out and was able to use some of that movement and also able to land his shots on the inside. You saw Andre Ward get on the inside, like I said before, that he would have to get on the inside to do some damage, and that was when he landed those body shots and those quick counter punches on the inside, scoring and landing, and to be able to tack on the points down the stretch. And all 3 judges scored the fight for a 1-point margin victory for Andre Ward across the board. Each judge scored the fight in a different round from the other judge, but they all came up to the same tally at the end. It was 114 to 113 in favor of Andre Ward. I had scored the fight 114 to 112 for Sergey Kovalev. I thought Kovalev should have won the fight and should have got the points victory in his favor, because it was a very good fight, and I saw him doing a lot of work in the beginning of the fight, and the 2-point knockdown has to be accounted for. Even if the man won just 6 rounds and Andre Ward won 6 rounds as well, that 2-point margin makes a difference and would have gave him the victory in his favor with that 114 to 113. But I had Sergey Kovalev winning at least 7 rounds. I didn't give Andre Ward more than 5 rounds in this fight. You can argue 6 rounds because it was that close of a fight. There was a lot of swing rounds, but it all depends on who do you prefer. You know, you have a lot of Kovalev fans that feel like he was robbed. You have a lot of people on Andre Ward's side that felt like he pulled out the victory. And the judges made their call. I wouldn't call it a robbery at all because the fans got a great fight and both guys performed to their level. We saw the heart of a champion. We saw Andre Ward dust himself off and get off that canvas and was able to get back into this fight and make it as close as possible. A lot of people felt that it was a draw. I think it should have been a draw at best for Andre Ward because he earned that right.
And this is no disrespect to him, but Sergey has a bully mentality. You know, his style, his approach, his demeanor. And if you look at all of his fights, taking nothing away from him, he's fought some really great guys, but they were intimidated. You know, they came in half beat. And, you know, I've just been determined my whole career, man, to never let that happen. You know, if you beat me, you earn it. It's not going to be because I was intimidated.
Oh, wonderful shot from Kovalev. Beautiful counter. Down goes Ward. Second time in his life. 35 seconds left in the round. He smiles, and it was a sweet, snappy shot from Sergey Kovalev. And there's the power. And Ward has got to try and get through.
At the start of each round, you know, I was up, I was fresh, I'm looking at him, and he almost had this look as if to say, man, he's still here. Because guys that he fight, you know, they're not there 7, 8, 9. You know, fighters know. You can sense a guy fading. You can sense a guy's confidence waning. You can sense those things.
And I believe that even though it was a victory win on his favor, I believe it's a fair decision because it was a close fight. But like I said, everybody has their own opinion. I felt that Sergey Kovalev should have got the decision victory in his favor because of the 2-point knockdown that he scored in the fight. And I believe that it was a close enough fight that was the deciding factor to swing it in his favor. But the judges felt that it was a close enough fight and Andre Ward was able to get that 1-point victory. If you, the fans that were going for Andre Ward, felt that he won 7 rounds out of this fight, I think that's ridiculous. I didn't see Andre Ward clearly winning 7 rounds. This was a very close fight that these rounds were very hard to score and they could have went for either way. It all depended on what did you like most, the technical skills of Andre Ward or the aggression and the jab that Kovalev was landing throughout this fight. He landed the hardest shots. He landed very clean and accurate shots in this fight. And I just felt that he was the winner in this fight. But it was a great fight. So where do these two fighters go from here? A rematch is the only thing possible for these men. Because Andre Ward is with Rock Nation Sports. And Rock Nation, I got to tell you, man, these guys are not good for guys like Miguel Cotto and Andre Ward because they don't have a big enough stable to give them bigger fights. And right now, you will not see Adonis Stevenson versus Andre Ward because of the beef between Rock Nation and Al Heyman. These guys have never made a fight with each other, and they do not plan on making any fights in the near future. So Andre Ward is not left with any big names at 175 pounds that he could face that is not aligned with Al Heyman. Also, there's a lot of talk of Andre Ward moving up to heavyweight division, possibly cruiserweight division. Let's be honest, that's ridiculous. This man just went up against the best 175-pounder in the world, against Sergey Kovalev, and he struggled against Sergey Kovalev. He was hurt. He was down against Sergey Kovalev. It was his experience and his heart and his will and determination that got him through this fight, in a very close fight that could have went either way. You cannot throw him in there in the heavyweight division. These men are way too big for Andre Ward. This is not when Roy Jones moved up to the heavyweight division. He picked the much limited John Ruiz as his opponent to beat. We knew that Roy Jones was a gifted fighter with hand speed and great skills, and that he could beat a guy like John Ruiz. Not such a big heavyweight in the division at the time, but these heavyweights of this time are too much for Andre Ward. So for him to go to heavyweight and face one of these big champions is nonsense. He could possibly move up to the cruiserweight division a little later on and face one of these guys that don't have the skills that he has, and that he'll be much quicker, and that he could probably pull out a victory against one of the lesser champions at cruiserweight. But even those guys are a little bit too big for Andre Ward, and that's pushing it. So I don't see him leaving the 175-pound weight division anytime soon. So a rematch is the only thing possible, especially with the high demand of such a great fight that we just saw. This is a fight that can go into a trilogy. If Sergey Kovalev could do something different. And I don't think he can. I think we saw the best of Sergey Kovalev. I think that's the best that he was capable of. We saw him with a very strong jab. We saw him move well, box well. We saw him aggressive, backing up Andre Ward. We saw the power when he dropped him. But I don't think Sergey Kovalev can improve on his game to get better in the rematch. I think Andre Ward can. Andre Ward is a guy that saw the best of Sergey Kovalev, and he could adjust to not make the same mistakes that he did earlier in the fight. So I believe that this time around, he can definitely get a clear-cut victory and win with a much bigger margin than the one that he just came away with. But like I said, it wasn't a robbery. I think it was a great fight. It was a close fight. Congratulations to Andre Ward. I was going for Sergey Kovalev in this fight. I believe that he won the fight and should have won by 1 or 2 points because of the knockdown. But my hat's off to Andre Ward. This man is a special type of fighter. He deserves to be pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. But I think that they do need to do the rematch because it wasn't a decisive victory for either man. It was too close to call. These guys have to do it again. They will do it again in 2017. And I can't wait. It was a great fight, and the fans deserve to see this fight again because this is what boxing is all about. Now, coming up this weekend, moving along to HBO, Saturday, November the 26th, is the much-anticipated showdown between Vasily Lomachenko and Nicholas Walters. This is a fight that has been brewing now for the last 2 years. A lot of fans have been waiting for this fight to happen when these guys were fighting in the featherweight division. Both men have moved up to 130 pounds where they will be fighting in the junior lightweight division for Lomachenko's world title, the WBO junior lightweight title. And this is a matchup that is very intriguing, but I think that it comes a year too late. I think that Nicholas Walters being out of the ring for over a year is going to affect his timing in this fight. Walters is a very strong fighter. Physically, this man has a good, solid jab. He also comes forward, a very aggressive fighter, and has tremendous punching power. And a lot of people expect them to hurt Lomachenko in this fight. And it's possibly so that could happen. But Lomachenko is also a special type of fighter, like an Andre Ward, or Floyd Mayweather, or even Guillermo Rigondeaux. This guy is a technical, skilled fighter with very quick hand speed and also unique boxing skills that he's able to move and use great defensive skills to be able to be elusive in this fight and be able to outscore and outwork his opponents. And this is going to be an interesting, intriguing matchup between these two. I think Nicholas Walters, the Axeman, has the big puncher's chance to win this fight and pull out a victory if he could hurt Lomachenko, but I don't see that happening. I see Lomachenko controlling this fight and having a much easier time this time around because of the layoff to the Axeman. I think it's going to be too much of a layoff. The ring rust is definitely going to play into effect against a guy that's highly skilled, that's too sharp in the ring. His hand speed is going to be the difference in this fight. And if we see the type of power in Lomachenko that we saw when he fought Rocky Martinez, then it's going to be a spectacular highlight reel knockout for Vasily Lomachenko because he surprised me in that fight with his power. He's not a very big puncher, but he looked strong in his last performance against Rocky Martinez. So if 130 pounds has made him a lot stronger in this weight class, I mean, we could see a late round stoppage for Lomachenko. But I see this fight going to a 12th round unanimous decision. That's my take on this fight right here. I think it's going to be an excellent fight. It's going to be an exciting fight, similar to the Ward and Kovalev fight because these guys are the top fighters in their class. These guys are very strong. You know, the Axeman is a very powerful puncher, a pressure fighter, just like Kovalev is. And Lomachenko is a guy like Andre Ward, a guy that's a technical, skilled, gifted fighter. And we're going to see a fight where it's going to be more of a deciding factor for Lomachenko in this fight than it was for Andre Ward. So that's my take. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to my boxing analysis and also checking out my boxing page on YouTube. Please, it's very important to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, join my Facebook boxing group page, J Calderon Boxing Talk. Follow me on Twitter at J Calderon Boxing, and also follow me on Instagram at J Calderon Boxing Talk. I'm J Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for your support. Keep watching and subscribe.